Hey guys, what is going on? LegoMan123 and welcome back to another video where today I'll be sharing my thoughts and opinions on my top 10 favorite 2021 LEGO sets. So without further ado, let's get into it. Starting off at number 10, we have the Jay vs Serpent Epic Battle set from Ninjago Legacy. I do plan on getting all of them, but out of them, the Jay vs the Serpent is one of my favorites because it's really cool to actually see the hairpiece in such a cheap set. And then the Jay minifig is really awesome with like the torso and leg printing. And then the snake or the serpent is definitely a really interesting minifig with that really nice sort of bluish green color. And then the build as well is really interesting for like a snake head. It kind of does remind me of like those earlier Ninjago sets, which was from the Rise of the Snakes. And then the new sort of weapon piece in that translucent green color. I really love the molding and the shaping for it, like the detailing on with like the chain and the dragon head, and just like the different designs for each of them. It does look really awesome and really cool to get in a set, but I just wish it was in like a translucent blue color because I think that would have worked a little more better instead of like a translucent green, because that would have worked a lot more better for Lloyd. And then the price for this set I definitely think isn't a reasonable price. I think it's like $15, and I think that's definitely a lot more worth it than like the arcade pods, because for $15 you're getting two minifigs and just like a small build. At number 9, we have the LEGO City set 60287, and I believe the title for this set is like the tractor or like the farming tractor. I really love the design for the tractor with like the wheels, the big one and the small one. The overall design for it definitely does look really cool, especially in that red coloring. And I do like the digger on it where you can like collect hay with it and all that. I really like the function of that. And then the side build for like the pumpkin, the carrot, and like the crate is definitely really interesting because it's a really cheap way to get like the really awesome carrot and pumpkin piece. And then I do like the very simple build for like the hay bale, but the overall design for the tractor and like the inside of it definitely does look like you can fit like a minifig in there like spaciously. So I definitely really like the overall design for the tractor in like the red. At number 8, we have another LEGO City set, and this is set 60283, and I believe this is titled like the camper van or like the caravan or something like that. Now, I'm a pretty big fan of these because I just love the overall design for them, and I believe in like 2013 to like 14, there was this really awesome caravan, very similar to this one. It had a very similar design, but I think the color scheme was a little different. I think that was like green, maybe like a lime, I can't actually remember. But I really love the overall design for this, especially with that sticker with like the deer on it. I really love the inclusion of that. And then the inside of it might be very similar to the one I previously talked about from like 2013 or 14. And then the minifig selection is definitely really cool, especially the baby piece in like the blue sort of torso and like sort of feet print, not printing, but like color with like that really nice sort of aqua blue. And then the build for like the table, the chairs, and like the sort of very simple setup for like sort of kitchen area. Very simple, but I do like the inclusion of it. And I'm kind of excited to see like how they incorporate that to make it look really nice. Like, where are they going to store it? I hope it's just like not a lazy reason, like it's just off to the side. I really hope there's like a way you can actually store it into the caravan. But the minifig selection and the overall build for the caravan are definitely really awesome. At number 7, we have once again another LEGO City set, and this is set 60288. Now, I'm not sure of the actual name for this set, but my favorite part, and probably a really interesting part, is the turning action. I'm definitely excited to see how they do that, because like the buggy build, it definitely does look really small, and I'm excited to see how they actually incorporate this really interesting turning or like mechanism or action. I think it does have something to do with like the new sort of wheel piece, because it sort of does look a little different from others, but the coloring of it with that really nice sort of purple pinkish color looks really cool. I love the design for the buggy. Very simple but also really effective. And then the build for the truck, or like the sort of truck in that green or like dark green, is definitely really interesting. I do like the overall design for it, and it can possibly maybe fit like, I think it can definitely fit one minifig and then possibly even two And then the minifig selection is definitely really awesome. I really like the torso printing for the female minifig, and then also the male minifig has a really nice, awesome print on his torso. And then the sort of trailer part, I don't think they should have included it, but I can definitely see why, because if they didn't, then there'd be no way to actually store the buggy, like, with this sort of truck. But I do like the design for it. Very simple, but it's just effective. I kind of wish they maybe made it a little more better, but I'm not sure how they could have done that. And the final LEGO City set is set 60291, and this is the modern house. I really like the overall design for the house, with like the detailing at the front, or with like the sort of plans, and then like that sort of wooden section going down one side of the house. I really love how modern it does look, with like the electric car. Really nice build for that. And then like the electric car charger, like the picnic area. And then the minifig selection is really awesome, because I do like how we're getting like a small family, like a mother, a father, and then 2 children. I really like that Ninjago torso print on the younger child. And then the minifig washing the dog, that looks so awesome. I love that dog mold. And then the design for each of the rooms is really interesting, but it's just really simple, because there's really not too much room at the back of it. But I do like the inclusions of like just these small rooms, but they could have like extended it out maybe a little more. Instead of having like this area for like a picnic area, they could have maybe used a charger like in a different position. Like maybe once they've made the house a little more bigger, they just add it to like the end of it. But I do like the overall design for each of the rooms, and then the road plate inclusion is definitely great. But my only problem with that is, like, you get none of those sort of tiles with, like, the lines on it, so, like, you can't actually incorporate it anywhere. So that is definitely quite a shame, because it really doesn't work too well with this, because I don't think it looks nice. But I do like the inclusion of it with like the road plate, because like you can very easily incorporate that in some other places. And then this area over here just looks really plain. Like they could have possibly maybe included something else there, because it just looks too open space. And like the vehicle can definitely fit in there really nicely, but I just wish they maybe made it just a little more space for each of the rooms. At number 5, we have LEGO Ninjago Legacy Set 71737, and this is the X1 Ninja Charger, and I love the overall design for this, and this was featured in Season 3, so it's really cool to get an updated version for this in Legacy, because I really love the overall design for the amount of detailing on with like the stickers and the prints, the different parts, and just the design, like the techniques they've done is really awesome. I especially like the sort of flick missile cannon part. That definitely does look really cool, and it seems like you can sort of interact with it. Like if you sort of move this technique part, you can sort of get it out of its position and like sort of twist it around. So I really like the design for that, but I'm not actually sure if that is true, but it kind of does look a little true. And then where Kai is sitting, it definitely looks like you can fit him in there really nicely, like he's not all squished and all that, so I really like that. The stickers and all the prints definitely do look really cool. I love the design for them with like the flame on it. And then the minifig selection is definitely really cool. 2 ninja droids, and I especially like the one with like that sort of jetpack with the wings. I really love that minifig. And then Jay and Kai are definitely a great inclusion. But apart from the build, my favorite part about this set would be the limited edition 10th anniversary minifigs, because I do plan on getting all the 10th anniversary minifigs with their sets, but this is probably one of my favorite, or second favorite ones, and this is the limited edition Cole, and this is him from Season 13, Master of the Mountain. So it's really awesome to see these 10th anniversary minifigs. I think they definitely do look really awesome in their golden form. And number 4, and this will most definitely be a surprise to some people, this is a LEGO Marvel Spider-Man set, and honestly, I've not collected Marvel or even DC for a very long time. I only have one Marvel set, and that was like back in 2014, so I really haven't been collecting too much of that. But I honestly really love the minifig selection, and the build, it's wacky, but I just love it. A monster truck for Spider-Man. I love the wheels with like this sort of part, like here you can see like the workings of it. The sticker or the print for like Spider-Man and his logo is definitely really cool. The net shooter is definitely really awesome, or a great inclusion. And this is set 76174, Spider-Man's monster truck versus Mysterio. Well, not just Mysterio, but also like Dr. Ock. And he honestly looks like the PS4 Spider-Man game Dr. Octavius or Doc Ock. He just looks so much alike him, with like the design for his torso, his printing on his head, his arms. I really love the design for his arms, and I'm really glad they are actually stable, so like you could stand him up by using his arms instead of just like you're trying to struggle standing him up with using his arms, and like once you do that he just falls. So I do like the inclusion of like the droid for like Mysterio, but that ghost piece for Mysterio, which was actually from a head inside, is recolored with like this really nice green to sort of show Mysterio like flying and using his sort of magic in a way. And I'm very curious to see like what's inside of like in the back of the monster truck. Is it just gonna be plain? I really hope it isn't. I hope there's like something included, like a small sort of laboratory for Spider-Man. And then the inclusion of Spider-Gwen is definitely really interesting. But I'm excited to see like what's in the back of that truck. Like some very simple build for like a sort of Spider-Man HQ, just a small build. But I'm definitely excited for this set. And number 3, we have set 71745, Lloyd's Jungle Chopper bike. And I really love the overall design for his bike. I really like that coloring. Instead of just getting the same green all the time, I really like the different shade of green for like this sort of light greenish color. I'm not too sure on how to explain it, but I really like the color. And then also a bit of dark green here and there. And then the build for like this sort of hovercraft is where Nia is definitely really interesting. I like that sort of hard plastic sail design for like that symbol and just like the coloring of it. And it does look like you can actually attach it to the chopper bike or the jungle chopper bike somehow, so that is definitely really cool. The minifig selection is definitely really awesome, and it's probably one of my favorite parts. We're getting a really nice, or well, a really awesome Lloyd for like his torso and leg printing. I love the new hairpiece with like the bandana. And then Nia is definitely a really interesting minifig, and it's a shame this is the only set where we get to see her, because the year before, when Prime Empire sets came out, there was only one set where you could actually get her, and that was Jay's like dragon. So it's definitely a shame how we're only getting like one Nia in like the wave of Ninjago. But I really like that new piece Nia is holding. It seems to be like the main theme for this set. And then the villain, or like the sort of henchman in this set, is definitely really awesome. I love the color of him, like the shield piece. It kind of reminds me of like some of those old like Lego sets back in the day. And then the torso and leg printing is definitely really interesting, but also pretty awesome. And then that face is definitely really great. At number 2, we have set 71747, and this is the Keeper's Village. And I honestly love the overall design for this set. I really like the build for like the totem with like the 3 faces. I believe there might be stickers or prints, and like them holding like swords or daggers. I think that is just the best. And then that really nice piece, which I believe Nia was holding a very similar piece to, but it might be the same, with like the dragon head in like that sort of purple translucent color. That looks really cool. It seems to be like the main sort of power source for like this tribe or like these people. And then the build for like the snake head is really interesting. It kind of reminds me of some sort of like secret entrance maybe, but I really hope there's some sort of like play feature with like that. And then like the build for like the cave is really interesting. I really like the plants, like to make it look sort of old and abandoned. Like the lava inclusion is definitely really cool. And like this minifig inside making some sort of like potion or something, or maybe like making some sort of stew. And then I really like that mask piece he's wearing. And then I do like the build on the right, because it kind of looks like it's like overgrown and like abandoned for like 100, maybe like 1,000 years. So really no one's been there until like the ninja discovered it. So I think that is definitely really cool. I love how Jay is the one who's like upside down because they like stepped on something what he wasn't meant to. So I find that like the funniest. And then there seems to be like some sort of hidden sign maybe from like, it's really hard to make out because of like the bush in the way, but it definitely does look really cool. I like all the gold around, and there also seems to be some sort of play feature like where that skull is, because there seems to be some sort of missing plates in a way to sort of show there's like a play feature there. I also really like the build for like the steps, very abandoned with like all the plants there, so I really like that. And the minifig selection is definitely really awesome with like the 3 ninja, and then like that sort of tribal leader or like the sort of master with like that helmet piece that looks really awesome. And then the other minifig in the cave looks really cool as well. And finally, at number 1, we have the LEGO Ninjago Legacy Set 71735, the Tournament of Elements, and this was featured in Season 4, and then when Season 4 did premiere, or like after a couple of months when it did, we actually did get a Tournament of Elements set, and what I'm really thankful for is that instead of just getting new variants or just new updated minifigs from that actual set into this one, I'm really glad we're getting new or like completely new Tournament of Elements sort of contestants. We have the Master of Sand, the Master of Plants, I believe, and then a new variant for like the sort of third in command henchman for Chen, and then the Master of Gravity. So I'm really glad we're getting variants for them, and I think they all look really awesome. I love the overall design for like the sort of section of like the Tournament of Elements sort of area. I really like the different designs for it with like the dark blue, the red, the black. I also really like how traditional it does look. I really love the design for like the different sort of techniques they've done. Like the sort of the top layer of it looks really cool with like the handle bars and all that, with like the dragon sort of parts of it, and like the different areas where you could possibly have like the Chen blades. I think that is definitely really awesome. Instead of just having them like in an open area, I'm really glad LEGO decided to like have sort of secret areas for like the Chen blades, just to make it a little more fun. And the minifig selection, I just can't get over it because it's really awesome we're getting all these really cool minifigs, especially the 10th anniversary limited edition Golden Lloyd, and he's from the upcoming later season for Ninjago. So, hope you guys did enjoy this top 10 video, because I really did enjoy sharing my thoughts and opinions on my favorite 2021 LEGO sets. I would definitely love to hear your thoughts and opinions, and if you have your own favorite 2021 LEGO sets, I would definitely love to hear it down in the comments below. So, as always, guys, hope you guys did enjoy this video, and see you soon. Goodbye!